Hello, this is Andy, the Suffolk Audiophile. Welcome to my channel. This week is part 8 and the final part of my vinyl A to Z, or my journey through recollecting vinyl after selling my collection back in the early 2000s. This week we're doing W through to Z, and I've got some interesting choices in this week's episode. So let's kick off with this band, Wah. This is Wah Equals Pooh, The Art of Bluff. I think this was their debut album, released in 1981. This is essentially Pete Wiley's solo project, but he brought in lots of different musicians through the years. Wah was never a fixed lineup, although there is a bass player on this, Carl Washington, who was with Pete Wiley for about a year, 18 months, working on the Wah project. He was one of the co-writers, or he helped record Story of the Blues in '82, but this album's absolutely brilliant. Standout tracks on this are the 7,000 Names of Wah, which is an instrumental, Sleep. I love the whole of the B-side, to be honest. 7 Minutes to Midnight and The Death of Wah, a brilliant album. Comes in a flick back sleeve, very 60s. But yeah, Wah, excellent. Right, next I've got a couple actually. I was only going to include one, but I thought I'd include both. So, Scott Walker, Scott 3 and Scott 4. So, let's talk about Scott 3. First of all, what a cover, absolutely brilliant. Scott Walker, one of the best singers of the 60s, I think, had one of those voices, you know. There's some great tracks on both these. Both these records are Abbey Road Half Speed remasters. These are pretty good actually, to be honest, better than some of the Half Speed remasters I've heard. These have got a lot of depth to them, they sound good. There's not much I can say about Scott Walker. Every single one of his albums are class. He's got a very niche fan base now, but yeah, really worth checking out. All 4 of his first solo albums are brilliant, Scott 1 through to 4. But yeah, these are my favourites, and these were no-brainers. The first one that I bought was Scott 3. It's the one that was high on my wants list when I was looking to rebuy my vinyl. But then I thought, you know, I'm going to get Scott 4 as well, because I like that too. You know, Scott 3's got some great tracks on it. It's Raining Today, Copenhagen, Rosemary, Big Louise, We Came Through, Butterfly, Two Ragged Soldiers. These remasters are really good. They're sort of 180 gram vinyl. You've got 30th Century Man, which is an excellent track. Winter Night, 2 Weeks Since You've Gone, Sons of, Funeral Tango, If You Go Away. Each and every one of them, brilliant songs. And Scott 4's just as good. I actually prefer Scott 4, to be fair. I think Scott 4, for me, has got the better songs on it. The Seventh Seal is a really good track. Opens side 1. On Your Own Again, The World's Strongest Man, Angels of Ashes, Boy Child, brilliant tracks. Hero of the War, The Old Man's Back Again, dedicated to the neo-Stalinist regime, in parentheses. Duchess, Get Behind Me, Rhymes of Goodbye. I really, really like Scott 4. The album just does it for me. This is, like I say, comes with an Obi. You can take that off if you want to, but yeah, Scott 4, brilliant, brilliant. So next we come to a record that I only ever owned on CD prior to selling my collection before. So when I wanted to rebuy this record, it would be the first time that I was going to buy it on vinyl, and picking up original pressings of this on vinyl is really expensive. But anyway, Amused to Death, Roger Waters. Now, this record is outstanding in its sound quality. It's a digital remaster, but this was remastered and cut by Analog Productions. I think, although I could be wrong, it was cut by Kevin Gray. Not sure. QRP, pressed at QRP. Not sure. I'm not sure who remastered this, but it was pressed at QRP by Analog Productions. It's a double album. It's a classic Roger Waters album. A lot of people still like the pros and cons of Hitchhiking, but I really like this record. This is a record that, if I'm testing out new gear on my system, this is normally one of the first records I play to test it, because the dynamics on this are just so good. So yeah, worth checking out. At the time of doing this video, there is still talk of them releasing a 45 RPM version of this as a box set. I'll be in the queue for that, I can tell you that now. But this is Amused to Death, Roger Waters. I think his best album, and it was top of my wants list. Then we move on to Macca. Those that know me know I'm a huge Beatles fan, so it's only natural that I collected some of their solo records. I'm only going to talk about 3 today. One in particular, which is Red Rose Speedway. This has always been my favourite Wings album. This has got Henry McCulloch on it, the Irish guitar player, absolutely brilliant guitarist. Done the solo on My Love, an absolutely beautiful solo. Also got Denny Sywell on drums. This is the same lineup that done the Live and Let Die soundtrack record for the film. But this is, I think, in McCartney's output, this is looked upon as a bit of an underdog. Whenever he goes out touring, he only, well, I don't know of him playing anything off this album, except maybe My Love, which is the big single, which was the single off the album. But on the B-side of this, you've got a medley similar to Abbey Road. Not as good, but it's still an Abbey Road-esque type medley, which is a really, really good medley. Starts off with Hold Me Tight, then goes into Lazy Dynamite, Hands of Love, Power Cut. An absolute great medley of songs. This is an original first pressing. They did do remasters. This has got the Braille message on the back of the jacket for Stevie Wonder that he had put on there. This has got Big Barn Bed on it, Little Lamb, Dragonfly, Get on the Right Thing, My Love, as I just said a little while ago. Big Barn Bed opens side 1. I love this album. I can put this on any day of the week and listen to the whole thing with no problems. Yeah, Red Rose Speedway. After that, coming in second to Red Rose Speedway, you've got Venus and Mars. Now this record is interesting to me for a number of reasons. One, it's got two different drummers on it. You've got Jeff Britton on it, and you've also got Joe English, sorry. Jimmy McCulloch's the guitarist on this album. The cover was done by Hypnosis, Storm Thorgerson's studio, who do Pink Floyd, so it's very Floydy. This is again a first pressing. I paid next to nothing for this, and it's virtually in unplayed condition. It came with all the posters and stickers, etc., still intact. Card in a. This is a great record. It's got some good stuff on here. Letting Go is one of my favourite tracks off this album, as is Rock Show. Yeah, it's just a great record. Vincent Mars. And the last one, which is, I think, a bit of an also-ran for McCartney. For a lot of the industry, saw him as a bit of an also-ran, but McCartney fans who know better know that this is one of his better albums, Back to the Egg. This is a very, very strange album in some places. This was recorded by the last official lineup of Wings. It's got Steve Holley on drums, you've got Denny Laine, Linda obviously, you've got Paul, and you've got Lawrence Stuber on guitar, brilliant guitarist. This is always sort of overlooked. McCartney never does anything off this album live on his tours, which is a travesty. It's a great record. Old Siam Sir is brilliant. Getting Closer is a really good rock song. There's some great tracks on here, again and again, written by Denny Laine. I love this album. I went through a phase of playing this in my car solidly for about a week. It drove my wife around the twist. But it's a great record, and worth checking out if you're into Macca or you're just dipping your feet in the water. Give it a go. This is a really good album, and it was actually third on my list of McCartney albums to buy when I was re-buying my vinyl. So yeah, Back to the Egg. So the next one, we're into Y. There was an X, there was going to be an X. I haven't got it. I'm still looking for a decent pressing, and that is XTC's English Settlement, one of my favourite albums of all time. I just haven't got that yet, so watch this space. It'll appear in a future video as I find an original pressing of that, but we'll move on to Yes, Tales from Topographic Oceans. Famously not one of Rick Wakeman's favourite albums, but this is a double album. It's quite heavyweight. There's only 4 songs on the whole double album, one on each side. It's indulgent, over-indulgent in places. It's very strange in places. In some places it's just noise, but in some places it is absolutely majestic. I'm not going to sort of waffle on too much about this, but suffice to say, it sort of pulled the band apart at the time. Rick Wakeman wasn't happy with it, he went off. It was recorded in Switzerland, I believe. It's a really experimental album for Yes at the time. It's got a cracking jacket by Roger Dean. This is a first pressing, as I've said before. So yeah, so you've got the, and the lyrics inside for the few songs there are, and the records. Again, on this one, I bought this in near mint condition. There are very few spindle marks in the records, but it's really in the other record. Let's have a look at that. Nice record. Yeah, Tales from Topographic Oceans. It's a good album. It's not for everyone's taste, but I love it. Then we get on to Z. There's not many bands or artists that use the letter Z, but there's one band which are brilliant, and that's the Zombies. So they only ever done 2 albums, so I've got both of them. The Zombies, Begin Here. This is basically an album full of cover versions with a smattering of original stuff. This has got She's Not There on it, which is absolutely brilliant on this. This is an Abbey Road remaster on the Repertoire record label. This is typical 60s fare, lots of cover versions, sort of beat group-ish type thing. But She's Not There is absolutely brilliant and sounds really, really good on this. This is, like I say, the Abbey Road half-speed remaster, I believe, yeah. Begin Here. But this isn't the best one. That's saved for Odyssey and Oracle. This record, I think, is up there with Sgt. Pepper and Revolver, Pet Sounds. It's up there with those big hitters. Odyssey and Oracle is full of just original penned records by the Zombies. Again, this is on the Repertoire record label. Again, this is a half-speed remaster. This was a no-brainer when I started recollecting my records. So you've got the record here. And the jacket. So that's the front. That's the back. A brilliant record. 1968. Most of the songs written by Rod Argent. It comes with a reproduction, or sort of a reproduction in a sleeve, 60s in a sleeve. But yeah, this is a great record and worth checking out if you're into 60s psychedelia, really. Odyssey and Oracle, the Zombies, brilliant. And there concludes my vinyl A to Z. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time. Cheers, bye.